Rounks here again with another video. Today we are having a look at some lists, some rankings of the best Batman villains by Donnie Smith Jr. published June 7th, 2021. Well, that was quite recently actually. Okay, so these are Donnie Smith Jr.'s favorite 10 Batman comic villains. I don't know if they're his personal favorites or if it's just kind of like people voted, or I don't know, with these corporate sites, you know, it's usually not one person's personal opinion. It's more like, in general, which ones are the most popular, but we'll see. When it comes to the comics, Batman has had to face some extremely powerful and iconic adversaries, including Bane, Two-Face, and the Joker. Nice that they included Two-Face there. And they have Two-Face here too, to, you know, symbolize the list. Two-Face and Mr. Freeze. I actually peeked, so I know which one is number 10. That's not gonna be a surprise to me. It has been said that a hero is only as good as their enemies. If this is true, which it is. It is no secret as to why Batman has become such an icon in pop culture. The Dark Knight has one of the best written and beloved rogues galleries in the history of comics. No, not one of the best, come on. Even those who have never read a comic book will recognize most of Gotham's most sinister as some of the most prolific comic baddies prowl the dark. I don't understand what I'm reading anymore, so let's just get into the list. Number 10, Bane. While Batman has been defeated countless times, one of the most brutal and iconic was during his first encounter with Bane. During the Nightfall story arc, Batman has his back broken by Bane, causing Gotham to succumb to evil as he recovered from the attack. Yeah, we know all this. Can't you say why he's number 10 instead? This devastating moment and most versions of Bane are simple. Okay, he is an incredibly strong man who is powered by a toxic chemical that makes him nearly indestructible. Is this why he's a good villain? You're kind of making a poor argument here. And he has his sights on Gotham. Well, Bane has ranged from a luchador to a mercenary. Many fans agree. He is one of the best villains Batman has ever faced. Okay, I mean, you're not really making a great argument here. To be honest, you're just kind of LARPing on about Nightfall, which I guess a lot of people do when they talk about Bane. I do not agree with this at all. I would not put Bane on number 10. Mr. Freeze, number 9. While the infamous Batman and Robin did him no favors, Mr. Freeze remains one of the most tragic villains in the Rogues Gallery. While existing for decades beforehand, his modern story originated in Batman. Yeah, serious, yes. That is true. Victor Freeze was a scientist desperate to save a terminally ill wife. Okay, this is just his backstory. We know all this. Can't you argue why he should be on the list? Screen Rant? Mr. Jr., whatever your name was? Tragedy is key in a successful Batman villain, and Mr. Freeze is a prime example of this. Okay. Not a terrible argument, but you didn't really do that great of a I can't talk at all. I thought, honestly, Mr. Freeze would be higher on one of these lists, but okay. Well, he's actually almost at the same spot as I put him. I put him as number 10, so yeah, I kind of agree with this. Very good ranking, Screen Rant. Let's go with number 8. What is number 8? Court of Owls. Ew, Court of Owls ahead of Mr. Freeze. Ah, gross, disgusting. Court of Owls. I wouldn't even put it in my top 50 Batman villains. Number 8. Number 8? Are you kidding with me? While they are much newer, having debuted in 2011, wow, that was 10 years ago exactly now. They're a decade old now. The Court of Owls has already made a huge impact on Batman's history. Really? I don't know, really. Nobody knows who they are except for comic book fans. Although I suppose that's gonna change now with that upcoming game, whatever it's called. Gotham City has always been corrupt, but an elite society who have secretly run the city to their liking has surprisingly never been done before. Okay, that's fair, that's a fair argument. Well, it's not a fair argument as to why they're number 8, but it's a fair argument as to why they're kinda interesting, and maybe we kinda, you know, maybe it was a bit of a unique thing. Kind of a needed thing in the Batman universe, maybe? It could explain why Gotham is so corrupt. I think there actually is potential to the Court of Owls. I don't necessarily think that's really been seen, and I think you can skip these silly talents That's one aspect of the Court of Owls that I don't like. The talents, it feels unnecessary. Isn't it enough that we have this creepy old secret society of these rich people wearing these creepy masks? Do we need to have like zombie owl dudes fighting like ninjas? I mean, that's just... it's gonna maybe sound a bit hypocritical of me, but it's just kind of silly. And I often argue for these kind of goofy things. I like it. So that's why, you know, maybe it doesn't make sense me saying that, but in this case, it just feels kind of silly, like it doesn't fit. Like the Court of Owls should be something really creepy and sinister. They've been making Gotham a bad place for all these decades. That's an interesting idea and explains a lot. But then you add these ninja, undead, zombie, just stick to the rich masked people, not just... number 7, the Penguin! Well, at least he's ahead of the Court of Owls. It's a little low for the Penguin in my tastes, but it's not too bad, because some lists don't even include the Penguin, so yeah, not too bad. Yeah, just explaining who he is, not really why he should be on number 7. Many fans agree he is at his best in the pages of the comics, where there is no limit to his disgusting and violent dealings. Okay, you're not really making any kind of argument why Penguin should be number 7. This is a kind of a bad list. Not the list itself isn't that terrible so far, but like the explanations, the reasons for why these characters are where they are. You're not really saying why. I get the feeling this is not this guy's personal opinion, maybe. Number 6 is Harley Quinn. Ew! Shame on you! Shame on you, Junior. Harley Quinn ahead of Penguin. I know someone who's gonna be really pissed at this. You know who you are. Oh, there are plenty of things that make Harley Quinn unique among the Batman villains. No, there are not. There are no things that make her unique. Chief among them is the fact she didn't originate in the pages of DC Comics. Well, isn't this a list about comics? Harley was nothing more than a one-shot henchwoman, which she should have remained. But has since become a fan-favorite character. Yeah, that's certainly true. After she separated from the Joker, many fans have felt that Harley truly shines in her own right. These fans are insane. Shame on you fans who think this. Number 6. Ew. Number 5 is... Oh, God. Number 5. Number 5. Oh, I hate this list. Ugh. Well, okay, it's not that bad. He's in the top 5 at least. And he beat Harley Quinn. But ew, like who does this guy think is better than Two-Face? Like I can't even imagine. Well, I can imagine one, of course. Number 5. I guess it's acceptable. He beat Harley Quinn, and thank God he beat the Court of Owls. Harvey Dent Two-Face is one of Batman's oldest foes. The once great district attorney tuned villain? You gotta misspell Harley. Oh God, what is happening to me? I'm calling Two-Face Harley. Oh, I gotta cut that out. No, I gotta cut that out. Tuned villain is easily one of the most recognizable characters in comics, yeah. Batman the Animated Series once again proves how important it is to Dark Knight's lore, as it gives the character a new tragic backstory that is stuck with the character. A new tragic backstory? New? Okay. Well, this guy, clearly, has no idea what he's talking about, so who cares about his opinions? New. Wow, you really haven't read the comics, apparently. And I thought this list was specifically about the... They made a big deal out of that on the Penguin section. See that? Plenty of iconic portrayals, blah 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 blah. But many fans agree he's at his best in the pages of the comics. And the list is called 10 Best Batman Comic Villains. Okay, but here, you know, you have Harley Quinn and Two-Face, and they like make a big deal out of the animated series. And they're even wrong. Okay, but whatever. In the comics, fans have also been intrigued by the history between Harvey and Bruce, where they had been close friends. While Bruce blamed, no, that's not true. Harvey and Bruce weren't friends in the comics, they were friends in the animated series! Idiot! While Bruce blames himself for what happened, these former friends have tried to take each other down more than once. Well, that's really the animated series again. Bruce blaming himself for what happened. What are you talking about? Anyway, number 4. Who is number 4? Scarecrow! Wow, Scarecrow beat Two-Face. That is something I can accept, to be honest. If there's one guy who's gonna beat Two-Face, it's gonna be Scarecrow. That I can accept. Thank you, Scarecrow. Scarecrow at number 4 also. Very nice. Very nice. I like this. Because he's usually just thrown up at like number 10 or something. Or not even. Well, he's usually included on lists, but it's usually kind of low. Oh, I'm beating up my computer. I got so excited to see the Scarecrow at number 4, I'm getting violent. Fear has been a key ingredient in the Batman comics for decades. Yeah. Tyrese and Bruce is okay. These read-ups are so boring. I hope my scripts aren't as boring. Yeah, Sheriff will literally weaponize fear. Yeah, they're talking about how they're kind of similar using fear. Whether on paper or on the screen, a story featuring Scarecrow is almost guaranteed to include some of the scariest imagery connected to Batman. Well, I don't know about that. They usually just waste the guy. Do some crappy hallucinations. Batman does what he does in the memory of his parents, and Scarecrow always shows a deep dive in Bruce's psyche. Okay, you know, that's an alright read up, because that is usually how the character is used anyway, as a plot device to explore Batman. Or some other hero, not to explore Crane himself. But that can be really great too, of course. That can work really well too. Yeah, decent. Number 3, Catwoman. Okay. Well, I mean, I wouldn't put her that high myself, but you know, respectable, respect. Well, usually portrayed as an anti-hero of sorts. Yeah, certainly nowadays. Selina Kyle is a thief at heart. Catwoman is one of the most used love interests of Bruce Wayne, and this is no surprise. While Bruce doesn't appreciate her criminal ways, they both share similarities in that they have secrets, alter egos. Secrets, alter egos. This is badly written, bad grammar. Even I have better grammar than this, and I'm Swedish. Feels like this is like a popular pick to put Catwoman this high because she's so iconic. But you know, it's decent. You know, it's Catwoman. I love Catwoman. Number 2 is Red Hood. Oh, ew. This is my free time. What does that even mean? What is he saying? What do you mean free time? What are you talking about? I was worried Hush was gonna be like high and ahead of Two-Face. But this is almost as bad. Not quite as bad though. I don't dislike Red Hood as much as I dislike Hush. I mean, he's even a villain? Isn't he an anti-hero with his own comic series? This is kind of confusing me. And this is a new list. It was made this year. Red Hood. He's barely even a villain. And he's so stupid. Jason Todd, he should have stayed dead. He should have stayed dead. Bringing him back was like so dumb. It just ruined that story. The impact. And all those followings, like for 15 years, they made such a big deal out of him dying. It was such an important part of Batman's character that he lost Jason Todd. And then, one of the most shocking moments in comic book history is when Jason Todd's Robin is seemingly killed by the Joker. Seemingly killed. He wasn't seemingly killed, he was killed. It was just that 15 years later, they suddenly decided, no, he wasn't killed. At the time, he was killed. People voted on it, for God's sakes. Equally shocking is when the new Red Hood is revealed to be Jason. Why is this guy so great? Let me see why this guy thinks he's so great. A valued member of the Bat family. Although he's more of an anti-hero. He is a valued member of the Bat family, guys. That is why he is the second greatest Batman villain. Okay. Brilliant reasoning. Really great, Junior. Really great. Screen Rant, you're doing such a great job, Screen Rant. Okay, number one, who's it gonna be? Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh, it's so exciting. Is it gonna be, who haven't we seen? Mad Hatter, right? He wasn't on here. Is it gonna be Mad Hatter? Firefly, could it be Firefly? Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, where's Poison Ivy? We haven't seen it. Ra's al Ghul, where's Ra's al Ghul? No Ra's al Ghul. He's usually so beloved. Ra's al Ghul. Is it gonna be Ra's al Ghul? Is Junior Screen Rant gonna surprise me and throw in Ra's al Ghul there? Clayface, we haven't seen Clayface either. Black Mask, Hugo Strange, Calendar Man, Kite Man, it's gonna be Kite Man, isn't it? Condiment King, Killer Moth, a lot of villains we haven't seen on this list yet. Okay, let's hold my hand. I'm really nervous. So excited and nervous. Who's gonna be number one? Oh, the Joker. Oh, I never saw that coming. Oh, the Joker. I didn't even think of that. The Joker, of course. The Joker. How could I forget the Joker? A Batman. He's even saying his name. Ooh, there are plenty of iconic villains in comic books. Arguably, the most iconic and well-known is Batman's legendary foe, the Joker. Joker is Batman's opposite. Being loud and colorful as opposed to dark and brooding. What makes the Joker so frightening is he has no endgame. I'm crying. I am so happy to see the Joker at number one that I am crying. I'm literally crying because Joker got number one. He couldn't care less about fame or wealth. His only goal is to cause carnage and chaos until the day he dies. Joker kills because he enjoys it. No, he kills when he thinks it's funny. You don't even know the Joker, who he is, and he's much too intelligent to remain behind bars. Or they all escape, meaning the only true way to stop him is to kill him. Well, that goes for every villain. Most versions of Batman have no killing rule except for Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, and to some extent Christian Bale, and a ton of others. And Joker knows that as soon as he crosses that line, Bat is no better than the Joker. He constantly tries to make Batman cross that line and remains, to most fans, the greatest comic book villain of all time. Well, those fans are silly. They are silly people. They are obsessed with a clown. And I am obsessed with a disfigured man who can't make his own decisions. So who am I to speak? Well, obviously I expected to see the Joker at number one. I'm not the least bit surprised about that. Even though this guy doesn't really get the Joker, apparently. Or, you know, Screen Rant, whatever. This is clearly not this dude's personal opinion. It's like, or maybe it is, I don't know. So according to Screen Rant, the best Batman villains are 10 best. Number 10, Bane. Number 9, Mr. Freeze. Number 8, Court of Owls. Number 7, the Penguin. Number 6, Harley Quinn. Number 5, Two-Face. Number 4, Scarecrow. Number 3, Catwoman. Number 2, Red. And number 1, the Joker. The Joker, of course. I am very surprised at some of this that they didn't include, like a lot of really popular ones. Ra's al Ghul, Poison Ivy, especially those two. And we have a few others as well, like Killer Croc and Clayface and Mad Hatter. Well, maybe not Mad Hatter, he's often on the worst lists. For some weird reason. But yeah. Who else is there? Wait a minute. realized now. Also, I just realized. The Riddler! Where's the Riddler? Well, that's obviously the biggest one who's missing. The Riddler! Jesus Christ. No Riddler. Not even a brief mention of him. No honorary mentions here, right? No. The Riddler! The Riddler is not on this list. You include the Court of Owls and Harley Quinn and Red Hood and not the Riddler. Wow, that's really bizarre. Bane. Well, Bane, obviously. Everybody loves Bane. Not the Riddler. Wow, that's so weird. Anyway, write down your favorite top 10 Batman villains down in the comments. And as always, remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.